So all the AWS services we've been using so far are public. That means that when we connect to them, we are connecting to them publicly. But if we use a VPC endpoint, we can connect to these services using a private AWS network instead of using the public internet network. Why? Well, this will give you a better security because you're not going over the public internet, and also less latency because you don't access the services through network hops. So let's take an example. We have a VPC, a private subnet, and an EC2 instance in that private subnet, and say we want to connect to Amazon S3 or DynamoDB. For this, we create a VPC endpoint of type gateway, so you have to remember this. The gateway endpoint is for Amazon S3 and DynamoDB only, and using this EC2 instance, you can connect through the gateway into Amazon S3 and DynamoDB, but privately. The other type of endpoint you have is a VPC endpoint interface, which is to connect to any other services on AWS, for example, CloudWatch, if you wanted to push a custom metric from your EC2 instance into the CloudWatch service. So for this, we will have a VPC endpoint interface, and then the EC2 instance will connect to it to connect to CloudWatch. So on the left-hand side, I have to click on endpoints, not endpoint services. You have to click on endpoints on the top to create an endpoint and see what I see. So we can create an endpoint for an AWS service, and you have to choose the service. For example, if I have any of these services, it's going to be of type interface, so it says interface everywhere. But if it's for DynamoDB, or if it is for Amazon S3, which is at the bottom, it's going to be, and I need to go all the way to the bottom to see this, so I need to go to the next page and then find Amazon S3, here it is going to be a gateway. So this is the only thing that you remember, okay? VPC endpoints are for accessing your services privately. For Amazon S3 and DynamoDB, it is a gateway, and for all the other services, it is going to be an interface. I won't go and I won't set it up for you right now because this is more complicated and out of scope for the exam. You just need to remember about the concept of a VPC endpoint. Okay, so that's it. I hope you liked it, and I will see you in the next lecture.